At a glance, you would never know 41-year-old Sagan Dressler was hooked on heroin for 23 years. What were you like before the addiction?
I was real active in sports. I was big in swimming and was on a softball team in high school. Spent a lot of time with my family. My sisters were my best friends growing up.
Sagan grew up in a two-parent home in Chesterfield, Missouri. She became strung out on drugs trying to escape the memory of a traumatic incident. At 21, she was raped. Afraid and ashamed to tell anyone, she found comfort in heroin.
I had a friend that was experimenting with it at the time, and she had stopped by my apartment, and I just tried it on a whim, and it made everything go away.
Like an unrelenting tornado, heroin shattered the life she once knew, tearing apart everything she valued.
It's affected every relationship. I've lost so many friends. I quit showing up for, parties, events, because it was just so much more important to get high.
Sagan's never-ending search for the euphoric high she got with heroin led to a new low, an arrest and conviction for armed robbery.
I ended up in a car with two people. I was on my way to the city to get some heroin, and they stopped and robbed a restaurant, and I ended up giving a 12-year prison sentence, and I did 5 years on it.
Sagan's story is like so many others who are still on the streets using, leaving police wondering how to stop this epidemic from spreading so rapidly throughout the region. Captain Troy Doyle from St. Louis County's Drug Enforcement Bureau says family members may be able to help if they notice the signs.
When she starts seeing a family member or individual all of a sudden start stealing for a reason, that's an indication. If you start seeing spoons inside the residence that's burnt from heating up the drugs, that's an indication.
Authorities tell me heroin is not considered an inner-city drug, perhaps because it's not attached to a needle anymore. It can be snorted or smoked and is very inexpensive.
What you get with heroin, obviously you get a lot of Caucasians or whites from the suburbs that come into the inner city to purchase heroin. And ultimately sometimes overdose depending on the purity level that they get. The problem that you have in the inner city, though, is that you have the people that are selling the heroin are shooting and killing one another over clientele and over territory.
I guess I'll have a frozen chocolate monkey.
Meanwhile, Sagan is putting the pieces of her life back together. She's been clean for 18 months now.
I don't understand how I used to be able to stay up for 2 and 3 days at a time, just on the run, moving around, doing everything I did. I just have such a peace in my heart, and it's the first time I've ever felt this way.
For STL TV, I'm Tim Lampley.